Welcome to Motoring Today, the Philippines' premier and longest-running weekly motoring news and features TV and online magazine. I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Here are this week's features to watch out for. On Motoring Forum, we shall discuss the significance of the Jeepney Modernization Program. Our road safety reminder on the Young Street Smart portion centers on the proper and safe way to treat pedestrian lane users. This week's Buying Chuper shall be about following the 3-second distance rule. Showcase this week shall have the pickup from Ford, the next-gen Ranger Wildtrak. While for race weekend, we shall have the highlights of the second day of the Maranao Autocross Battle of the Champions.
All these plus the latest news in transportation and traffic management, as well as developments in the automotive industry, are on this week's edition of Motoring Today. Join us.
Mitsubishi Strada athlete, confident to the core.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. Here now are the latest news and developments in the country's transportation and traffic management. Authorities have finally solved the right-of-way issues hindering the completion of the Aguinaldo section of the Calax and hope to complete the section by the middle of the year.
The Department of Public Works and Highways has completed the acquisition of the right-of-way for the Aguinaldo section of the Cavite-Laguna Expressway. With that out of the way, the DPWH believes the Silang interchange of the Aguinaldo section of the Calax can be completed by June, according to published reports quoting DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan. The reports also said the DPWH hopes to deliver the remaining right-of-way acquisitions for the entire length of Calax within the year. Bonoan said the Department of Budget and Management has assured the DPWH of the release of funds for the acquisition of the right-of-way for the Calax this year, which amounts to around 2 billion pesos. Calax is a public-private partnership project of the DPWH and Picala Holdings Inc., a subsidiary of Metro Pacific Tollways Corp, to construct a 45-kilometer tollway connecting the South Luzon Expressway to Cavitex.
Right-of-way issues have delayed the completion of the sections of the Calax. For the sake of motorists and commuters, it is hoped that the DPWH will deliver the right-of-way for the sections still uncompleted within the year, as promised. Meanwhile, the DPWH is confirming earlier pronouncements that the first section of the NLEX-SLEX connector would be opened before Holy Week.
The Department of Public Works and Highways Secretary Manuel Bonoan has confirmed earlier pronouncement of the NLEX Corp that the Espana section of the NLEX-SLEX connector will be open to motorists before the Holy Week this year. In a press statement, Bonoan said the DPWH was targeting to open the Espana section before Holy Week to help decongest vehicular traffic in Metro Manila, especially to and from the Caloocan, Malabon, Navotas, and Valenzuela or the Camanava area. Bonoan said that the opening of the first section of the NLEX-SLEX connector will provide motorists seamless access from NLEX to Espana Boulevard. This came after Bonoan, Department of Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista, together with NLEX Corporation President and General Manager Jose Luigi Bautista and Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation President Rodrigo Franco, inspected the first 5.15-kilometer section of the 4-lane NLEX-SLEX connector road, extending from the end of the NLEX Segment 10 in C3 Road, Caloocan City, to the Espana interchange along Espana Boulevard. At the same time, Bonoan said construction of the second section stretching from Espana Boulevard to the Polytechnic University of the Philippines Santa Mesa is being fast-tracked to provide trucks with an alternative route from the ports to the south and improve connectivity between Ninoy Aquino International Airport and Clark International Airport.
The Holy Week exodus with the expected congestion is a nice peg or device to emphasize the importance of opening one section of the NLEX connector. But the NLEX-SLEX connector will surely help ease congestion in the metro and improve travel time from north to south of the metro the whole year round. Continuing, transport authorities may have found ways to boost the PUV modernization program while easing resistance from drivers and operators of traditional jeepneys.
Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board Chairman Teofilo Guadis III has approved a locally manufactured passenger jeepney prototype for inclusion in the PUV modernization program. The prototype resembles the iconic jeepney turned out by local manufacturers like Sarao Motors, but with a higher ceiling to allow passengers to stand inside the vehicle, handrails, built-in security cameras, and an environment-friendly Euro 5 engine. It also features a main door at the right side and an exit door at the back. Following an inspection, Guadis said the prototype conforms to the Philippine national standards for modern PUVs while preserving the iconic jeepney design and is acceptable for the modernization program. The prototype was first rolled out in 2019 but was said to have been ignored by the previous administration. Ed Sarao, production and plant supervisor of Sarao Motors, local manufacturer of traditional jeepneys, estimated that it would cost around 1.5 million to 2 million pesos to produce the prototype. At the same time, the Department of Transportation is looking at increasing the subsidy for participants in the PUV modernization program from 160,000 pesos to 250,000 pesos per unit.
The LTFRB is onto a good thing by supporting and encouraging local makers of jeepneys to provide affordable modern jeepneys to drivers and operators. And finally, SMC now has another expressway to add to its growing network of tollways.
San Miguel Holdings and the Cavite Provincial Government have signed a joint venture and 35-year tollway concession agreement for the 27 billion peso Cavite-Batangas Expressway project. The agreement covers the construction, financing, operation, and maintenance of a 27.06-kilometer toll road traversing Silang, Amadeo, Tagaytay, Indang, Mendez, and Alfonso in Cavite and Nasugbu in Batangas. According to San Miguel, the CBEX aims to enhance the mobility of people and goods and mitigate congestion in the Calabar Zone or Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, and Quezon region. San Miguel had earlier proposed project which was granted original proponent status and subject to a competitive challenge which received no alternative offers, paving the way for the joint venture to be signed.
Cavite, Laguna, and Batangas already have a network of expressways linking respective cities and municipalities. Another one could only improve mobility of goods and people. And those are the latest news and developments in transportation and traffic management. Coming up next is Motoring Forum, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines. What is the Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program? What does it aim to achieve? What is the new administration doing to achieve these objectives? Motoring Forum attempts to answer these and other related questions.
The recent strike by jeepney drivers and operators organized by a number of transport associations called to question the new efforts of the government to phase out the traditional jeepneys as part of its Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program. The transport strike fizzled out seemingly without operators and drivers of traditional jeepneys gaining significant concessions. The Department of Transportation and the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board appear steadfast in implementing Department Order No. 2017-011, or the Omnibus Guidelines on the Planning and Identification of Public Road Transportation Services and Franchise Issuance, or the Omnibus Franchising Guidelines. The OFG was formulated during the Duterte administration, which is perhaps the first to show political will to phase out aging PUVs, including traditional jeepneys. The objective of DO 27-011 and the OFG was to raise the level of local public transport to global standards, making it safe, reliable, convenient, and environmentally sustainable. The government went about setting new standards and classifications for PUVs, including that for modern jeepneys, that would leave traditional jeepneys no place in the modern mass transport setting. Modern jeepneys should be powered by engines compliant with at least Euro 4 emission standards, or by LPG, electronic and hybrid engines meeting Philippine national standards. The PUVMP also called for modern jeepneys to have GPS, an automated fare collection system, and a CCTV camera. Moreover, the DOTR and LTFRB moved to stop renewing franchises of PUVs that are more than 15 years old. Financial and other incentives were established to encourage transport operators to modernize their fleets or units. Individual operators were encouraged to form cooperatives to avail themselves of the incentives to acquire modern jeepneys. The Bongbong Marcos administration continued what was started in the previous government. Transport Secretary Jaime Bautista emphasized that the DOTR will continue to strengthen the program to attain what he described as CASA: convenient, accessible, safe, and secure affordable transport. He said the modernization program will also generate more jobs across the sector: mechanics, dispatchers, and administrative staff. The government also envisions a modern transport sector that will do away with boundary system and allow drivers to take home more earnings while working decent hours. These strikes centered around an LTFRB memorandum circular which gives individual POV operators until June 30, 2023 to join an existing consolidated entity, or else will no longer be allowed to continue their operations. Following the strike, Secretary Bautista allowed that DOTR is open to extending franchises of all traditional jeepneys beyond December 31 to ensure enough POVs serving commuters. Meanwhile, the Senate adopted a resolution calling on the LTFRB to postpone the planned phase-out of all traditional jeepneys and resolving concerns about the financial viability of the POV modernization program.
All attempts to phase out aging traditional jeepneys have not been as successful as its proponents wanted in past administrations. Perhaps the present administration can break this streak. That's our Motoring Forum this week, courtesy of Suzuki Philippines.
At the core of Toyota Gazoo racing lies motorsports DNA. Combine that with the Philippines' best-selling sedan, you get the Vios GRS. Its black accent details and aero kit upgrade capture the feel and excitement on the track, and the 10-speed CVT that exudes the TGR competitive spirit. On the road or on the track, always be ready for a heart-racing, exhilarating ride. The Vios GRS. Bring on the thrill.
The Mitsubishi Strada athlete, confident to the core.
You are back with us here on Motoring Today, and we now have this week's important motoring tips, starting off with some road safety reminders from Toyota Motor Philippines.
When driving, always keep in mind that you're responsible not only for yourself, but also for your environment. Palaging paunahin ang mga tumatawid sa pedestrian lane. Be patient at huwag magmadali, lalo na kung ang tumatawid ay mga bata, matatanda, o may kapansanan. It's always better to give way to pedestrians than to cause accidents.
Continuing with this week's edition of Motoring Today, let's now focus on proper driver's demeanor, especially for those driving PUVs. Here's Spying Choper this week.
Payong tsuper lang, kaibigan. Ako si Rodrigo, isang kapwa niyo tsuper. Siguraduhin may sapat na espasyo pagitan ng inyong sasakyan at nasa inyong harapan sa tuwing namamasada.
Maaari mo itong gawin sa pamamagitan ng pagsunod sa 3-second rule, kung saan ikaw ay maglalaan ng 3 seconds of space sa pagitan mo at ng sasakyan sa iyong harapan. Humanap ng palatandaan sa gilid ng kalsada. Kapag nakita mong nakalampas na dito ang sinusundang sasakyan, saka ka umabante at sumunod.
Tandaan sa pamamagitan ng pagsusunod sa 3-second rules, maiiwasan ang gitgitan sa kalsada. Ito po si Rodrigo Apas, payong tsuper lang, kaibigan, mula sa isang kapwa nyo tsuper.
Mitsubishi Strada athlete, confident to the core.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. World of Motorsports is next.
In motorsports news, Richard Gallardo ruled the first leg of the Race Motorsports Cup National Slalom Series, setting the best overall time, a 62.44, which is also the quickest in the front wheel class on the slalom course, laid out at the parking lot of Robinson Star Mills, Pampanga. Pao Ibasia was second quickest overall with a time of 62.98, Rod Chang third with 64.72, Pucci Ortega fourth with 67.14, Austin Sarmiento fifth with 67.84, and July Johnson sixth with 68.16. Joseph Ortega Ponga Racing Team was quickest in the rear wheel production class, recording in time of 67.14. Austin Sarmiento was a close second with 67.84. Austin Sarmiento was the quickest novice overall by clocking 67.84, followed by July Johnson in second with 68.16. Paolo Macaraeg third with 74.43. Ryan Pangilinan fourth with 77.74, and Christine Torres fifth with 76.04. The second leg of the 2023 National Slalom Series will be held on March 26 at the 6th floor roof deck parking area of the Robinsons Metro East Mall. Race Motorsports Club said that until further notice, tires with a minimum 180 TW and a price cap of 6,000 pesos will be allowed. In other motorsports news, Richard Gallardo topped the overall time sheets of the second round of the 2023 Philippine Autocross Championship Series held at the Robinson Santa Rosa in Laguna. Gallardo set the best overall cumulative time of 1 minute 42.26 from his runs in both tracks A and B. Second overall was Richard Chang with a cumulative time of 1 minute 44.99. Third was Jose Carlos with a time of 1 minute 49.89. Richard Gallardo also topped the open class with a time of 1 minute 42.64. Second was Rod Chang with 1 minute 44 flat. Third was Jose Carlos Ocampo with 1 minute 50.86. Jose Carlos Ocampo was quickest among novices with a time of 1 minute 49.89. Second was Arnold Javier with a 1 minute 50.91. Third was Smilion Chua with a 1 minute 51.67.
More on the world of motorsports here on Motoring Today, as we now give you Race Weekend. In a previous edition of Race Weekend, we showed highlights of Day 1 of the Maranao Autocross Battle of the Champions held in Ground Zero of Marawi City. This episode shows highlights of Day 2 that featured the champions battling it out for supremacy.
Autocross is fun. Nagagamit mo kasi sa daily driving. Yung nakukuha mong dito, skills, nagagamit mo sa labas. Tsaka nagkakaroon ka rin ng self-control. Kasi dito nauubos mo na sa racetrack lahat ng gusto mong gawin sa sasakyan. Pagdating sa kalye, so na tayo, parang hindi na masyadong aggressive. Nagre-race ng illegal tsaka sa road race, I encourage them to join the autocross. Before, ganun din ako nung kabataan ko eh. But ngayon, nung na-try ko yung autocross, it's much more fun sa autocross. Kasi, yun na nga, ito, legal ito eh. Nasa loob tayo ng racetrack. Safe din dito. Unlike sa kalye, hindi safe.
In-invite nila ako sa ngayong event. So, wala tayong magagawa kasi mahilig tayo sa competition, mahilig tayo sa karera. So, we decided sa team ko na maglaro kami. Sobrang difference po ng racetrack dito at sa Cagayan kasi dito, napansin ko, mas kaya mong sagarin yung sasakyan mo to the limit. Unlike dun sa mga previous na mga racetrack na sinasalihan namin, masyadong tight. Doon na rin sa masyadong tight, parang namamak, na bibigay mo talaga yung potential skills mo. Kasi mahirap kumupit sa mga maliliit na sasakyan eh.
Simula ko, siguro The Fast and the Furious na mga movies, I was inspired. Pangalawa, pagpunta ng Philippine Autocross sa Davao. That was year 2008. Kita kami ni Sir Danny Santiago. And also, nabigyan niya ako ng konting tips. Binigyan niya ako ng gigil. And then the next year, I competed with my stock car. And then after that, 2009, I bought my real race car. Then we competed. Naging second place. Then pag 2010, I was able to get the Mindanao Driver of the Year ng Philippine Autocross Championship. Then I competed sa Manila for the finals. Nakalaban ko si Lance Binamira. And then naging second ako.
Naging madali yung laro kasi iba yung ine-expect ko dito sa mga kalaban natin sa Mindanao. Develop na rin yung driving nila. Tingin ko kaya na rin nila makapag-compete sa mga racers sa Manila. Actually sa preparation, papasalamat ako sa mga taga dito sa kaibigan natin sa Mindanao kasi sila yung nag-race prep nung kotse. Kasama rin yung mga kaibigan natin sa Manila. Yung sponsor ko, sila Powerhouse, sila Motul. So far, naging okay naman yung results. Yung engine ko, yung tuning, especially kay Nine Autoworks, pati kay B-Works. Yung next na Maranao Autocross, if God willing, kaya ng schedule natin, susubukan ulit namin together with my sponsor, syempre. Pero for now, titignan natin kung kakayanin namin.
The Maranao Autocross Battle of the Champions was a resounding success for organizers and the city of Marawi, with competitors and champions from as near as Cotabato and Zamboanga, and as far as Manila joining the competition. People are already looking forward for another running of the Maranao Autocross Battle of Champions. And that's this week's World of Motorsports. We'll be back after this short break.
Kailangan ng maaasahan, kailangan ng matibay, pang matagalan kasama mo sa pag-unlad ng negosyo. Modernong disenyo, kayang-kaya ang kargo mo ng tatak na ito. Isuzu Travis, level up with Isuzu. Level up mo yung negosyo. Isuzu Travis, level up with Isuzu. Level up with Isuzu Travis.
The Mitsubishi Strada athlete, confident to the core.
Our Car of the Week is next on Showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee. Ford Philippines offers one of the most extensive pickup trucks lineup in the country. Let's take a look at one of them in this showcase, the next-gen Ford Wildtrak.
When Ford launched the next-gen Ranger last year, it immediately generated a lot of interest locally. Ford Philippines did not disappoint local pickup enthusiasts by soon making the next-gen Ranger available locally soon after. At the top of the range, the next-gen Ranger Wildtrak, made available in both 4x4 and 4x2 variants. The next-gen Ranger arrived all bold and confident with a wider stance, well-chiseled lines, and a new distinctive grille that looks perfectly integrated with a clamp headlamp and bumper. The next-gen Ranger is 5,370mm long, 1,980mm wide, and 1,884mm tall, with a 3,270mm wheelbase. Front and rear track width at 1,620mm and 235mm minimum ground clearance. There's a lot to like in the next-gen Ranger, especially in the range-topping Wildtrak with its distinguishing grille design and treatment. The Wildtrak 4x4 is also distinguished by its Matrix LED headlights. The 4x2 shares the LED multi-reflecting headlights also found in our Ranger Sport and XLT variants. The Wildtrak also features adaptive front lighting system that shifts from low beam or high beam automatically depending on speed and oncoming traffic, as well as adapt the headlight pattern when turning on curves. Other exterior features and functions like on the Wildtrak include daytime running lights, auto on/off headlight with follow me home function, LED fog lamps, high-mounted stop lamps, puddle lamps, rain-sensing wipers, side view mirrors that power adjust and fold. The 18-inch alloy rims look good wrapped in 255/65 R18 tires. Particularly useful and practical for pickup owners are the bed liner, rear box steps, side steps, and the easy left tailgate. The dual front tow hooks mud flaps. The next-gen Ranger also arrived with a bigger cargo bed box at 1,564mm long, 1,584mm wide, and 540mm tall. On the Wildtrak, these sport barn roof rails help load more cargo. Form and function married well in the next-gen Ranger. That can be also said for comfort and convenience, especially on the Wildtrak 4x4, which arrive with an abundance of premium soft-touch materials in the roomy cabin. Getting in and starting the engine is made much more convenient with the smart keyless entry and push-button start system the Wildtrak shares with the Ranger Sport variants. The Wildtrak arrived with its own exclusive styling for the leather and leatherette upholstery for the seat trim. The already comfortable driver's seat can be made even more comfortable with motors that adjust 8 ways. The front passenger has to make do with a seat that adjusts 4 ways manually. The rear bench seat can be comfortable for 2 with the center armrest down. With the center armrest folded up, it's cozy and comfortable for 3. All variants of the next-gen Ranger rolled out on the shores comes in an 8-inch digital instrument cluster. At front and center of the dash of the Wildtrak is a 12-inch colored touchscreen frame in portrait mode with an infotainment system that features Ford Sync at4A system compatible with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, plus voice command and plays through 6 speakers. The higher-end variants of the Ranger are also equipped for today's tech-savvy and mobile-connected world with windscreen-mounted USB, a platform for the wireless charger and dual USB Type-C and A ports in the front and second row on the Wildtrak. Also cool and functional are the clever storage spaces, including door pockets, the upper glove box on top of the dash, storage bins under and behind the rear seats. Keeping all corners cool in the Wildtrak cabin is a new dual-zone air conditioning system with automatic temperature control. The Wildtrak also has standard comfort and convenience features expected in top-end pickups. Power windows, auto-dimming rear view mirrors, auxiliary 12-volt power outlets, 230-volt inverter in the second row of the cabin and in the cargo area. On the road in the next-gen Ranger, one can immediately feel the difference in ride and handling from the previous generation. The improvements to the chassis and suspension, the wider track, the longer wheelbase, with front wheels move forward, all work to make drivers and passengers both comfortable and confident both on and off-road. Suspension works fine with light or heavy load with double wishbone with cold spring anti-roll bar in front and leaf springs in the rear. Stopping power comes from ventilated discs on all 4 wheels on the Wildtrak. Ford Philippines brought in the next-gen Ranger with a 2-liter bi-turbo diesel engine mated with a 10-speed automatic transmission for the 4x4 Wildtrak variant capable of maxing out at 210 PS and 500 Nm of torque. The other variants arrive with a 2.0L single-turbo mated a 6-speed automatic or manual transmission capable of 170 PS of maximum power and 405 Nm of maximum torque, numbers that are still respectable. But it's the Wildtrak that is more fun to drive. The Wildtrak 4x4 also comes with a terrain management system and a complement of advanced driver assistance technologies that make the next-gen Ranger safer for both the driver and occupants of the pickup, but also motorists and road users. This suite of smart driver assist technologies including, among other things, adaptive cruise control with stop and go and lane centering, lane keeping assist with road edge detection, autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian detection, forward collision warning, lane keeping aid and lane departure warning, pre-collision assist with intersection, dynamic brake support, driver alert system, evasive steer assist, and auto high beam. The Wildtrak also comes with a 360-degree camera that provides multiple views of the large center display, 360 bird's eye view, and 180-degree front and rear split views. Also for safety, the Wildtrak comes with hill launch assist and rollover mitigation, hill descent control, 7 airbags, anti-lock brake system with electronic brake force distribution, electronic stability control with traction control system, and electric brake booster. At the local launch of the next Ranger, Ford said the next-gen Ranger is the smartest, most versatile, and most capable Ranger ever. That is surely true. It can perhaps even argue that it may be the smartest, most versatile, and capable pickup in the country at the moment.
There's really a lot to like in the next-gen Ford Ranger, and Ford Philippines wants to match that with an enhanced ownership experience, starting off with 5-year and 150,000 kilometer warranties. That's our featured vehicle in this week's showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee.
What do we go for? We go for experience. go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the Toyota Wigo.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. The auto industry now takes center stage.
Terrafirma Motors Corporation has signed an agreement with the Chengdu Dian Automobile Co. Ltd. for the local assembly and distribution of the Chinese automaker's vehicles. TMC announced at a press conference that it is set to assemble and distribute the Dayun Dragon EX5, an electric-powered light truck. TMC is a member of the Colombian Group, which has a rich history of involvement in the manufacture, assembly, distribution, and retail of vehicles. Chengdu Dian is the fourth leading private automotive company in China, manufacturing both traditional and new energy vehicles focused on cost-effective green technology, according to Felix Mabilog of the TMC.
Dian has four factories in China. Initially, they are the fourth largest automotive group or company in China, because as you know, in China, automotive industry, they are government-owned and private-owned companies. In the private-owned companies, they are the fourth largest.
The TMC venture into the assembly of electric commercial vehicles is a long-term commitment.
We want to be also the first company that will really introduce an electric jeepney or electric light commercial that can really penetrate the whole market. Hindi lang isa dito na gumagawa, isa dito. Nakita nyo naman eh. Meron na rin nauna. Unang-unang katakot-takot yung mahal. Di ba? Kaya hindi tumatagal. Walang after-sales support. So kami, we want to do it. We don't want to start something that we cannot finish. That's our philosophy.
TMC also revealed that it was in talks with Meralco to find ways to bring cleaner emitting vehicles to more industries throughout the country. FAW Hongqi, one of China's top manufacturers of luxury vehicles, is joining the local market. Hongqi manufactures and distributes a line of limousines and SUVs said to be favored by high-ranking government officials, head of industries, prominent business personalities, and rich celebrities. FAW Hongqi has appointed Evo Xterra as its official distributor in the Philippines. During the press conference announcing the partnership, Evo Xterra President Rashid Delgado said the company was proud to bring this legendary car marque to the Philippines. At the same time, Hongqi Overseas General Manager Wang Zhuoquan said the Chinese automaker is excited to finally enter the Philippine market and give Filipino car enthusiasts the Hongqi brand of utmost luxury, state-of-the-art design, and top-notch performance. Hongqi is initially rolling out 4 models including new energy vehicles as well as those with internal combustion engines.
You have the EHS9 here. Over there you also have the H5. We are building a showroom in BGC. That will be done, I guess, I think in June, July this year. So that's the cadence. In October, you will also have the next EV Summit. There are a number of cars in the factory right now being built for the Philippines. Cars will be publicly available when the showroom opens in July. But of course, if anybody wants a Hongqi vehicle before July, we will be very happy to deliver. The Hongqi EHS9 will start at sub 5 million pesos. The H5 is in the mid-2s. So closer to the actual launch of the vehicles will be the announcement of the price. But these prices, especially for the EHS9, these prices already reflect the provisions of Executive Order 12, the Evida Law, and even CREVI. For those interested in Hongqi and its model lineup, please visit the website. It's hongqi-auto.com for the main website and hongqi.ph for the Philippine website.
After a successful inaugural season, the MSCC Miata Spec Series returns for another year of one-make sports car competition.
Today we are announcing the 2023 MSCC Spec Miata Series, divided into our second year now. We just finished our first year, and so this second year, work on it, we added some more cars, there are new drivers coming in. But the formula remains the same. It's a one-make race. We added one new sponsor, which is BRM. They are the timekeeper for this year. They are a French watchmaker company.
The official race event of Manila Sports Car Club, the Miata Spec Series, will have 22 racers this year, all driving track-tuned Mazda MX-5 open-top sports cars. Alan Oy, the inaugural season's overall champion, returns to the 2023 season to defend his crown. His closest rivals, Angie King and Tyson C, will both return, as will Master Class Champion Wendy Imperial and Novice Class Champion Hamal Almario. Joining the grid this year are Red Diva, Tony Pet Abano, and Manny Eduque. Aside from the bigger grid, the 2023 MSCC Miata Spec Series will race at two venues, the Clark International Speedway and the Batangas Racing Circuit.
Last year we raced all 4 races in Clark, and this year we have 2 Clark and 2 Batangas Racing Circuit, which I think add a lot of nice flavor, and drivers are all very excited about it.
The first 2 legs slated on April 15 and June 24 will happen at BRC, while the final 2 legs scheduled for August 26 and October 28 will be done at the CIS.
And that's the week that was in motoring. Thank you for joining us. Also, don't forget to check us out on social media.
Until next week here on Motoring Today, now in its 36th year of continuing service to the Chinagal motoring public with a lifelong commitment to promote road safety. On behalf of our dad, Butch Gamboa, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Happy motoring!